wrapping up Oktoberfest week here on the channel, or I should say Oktoberfest in February here on the channel. We go a little local. One right by me, right down the street, not too far along from my house. This is Cayce, Steel Hands Brewing Company. This is a Festbier Oktoberfest style lager. Not quite your typical Oktoberfest, but Festbiers. An Oktoberfest is a Festbier, so why don't we see what Steel Hands' version of this, what their interpretation of it is all about, right after the theme song. Welcome on into the Midland studio as per usual with your host, Nutmeg 2 Palmetto. Wrapping up my little bit that I'm doing here, Oktoberfest in February, with one that's super local, back to some local roots. Right down the road, that away, I think. Yeah, that away. Cayce, going towards Columbia, just right off of downtown Columbia, you will find Cayce. Steel Hands is right on, actually, the Columbia side of Cayce. And they've got a big tap room, really nice kitchen, a lot of Steel Hands beer. Of course, if you're down here and you're used to seeing beers out and about in the wild, you're used to seeing a lot of their staple styles of brew, the Foreman Ale, the coffee lager, canned nut brown ale. You know, the ones that are always out there. But when you go to Steel Hands, go to the Cayce location, they started this tank series of late, where you'll see more experimental things, more specialty brews, and that's kind of really enticing to the craft beer nerds of the world, or people that do beer reviews on the internet. You don't know anybody like that, do you? Don't tell anyone. But that's where they do a lot of their more experimental stuff in the tap room. So if you see Steel Hands on the shelf, you're like, oh, I always see this stuff. Well, don't sleep on Steel Hands. Make sure you go actually to the tap room and see what they got in there, because there's a lot more different things there. As typically you'd think most breweries operate like that in the same manner, they do have a little more freedom to make quirkier things and different things in the tap room and smaller scales than things that have to get pushed out the distro that everybody relies upon. Everyone's like, hey, I know that I want that. That's just something I want as an easy every night type of sipper. Or everyday type of sipper, regardless. Who knows what your work shift is? I don't know. I'm not going to assume that's such. If you liked Oktoberfest, Festbiers, Marts, and that sort of thing, work your way down to the comments. The first one is always pinned with a link to a playlist of all the other ones I've done on the channel. I've thrown an extra few on it this week, that's for sure. So work your way on through that at your leisure, and maybe there's some other ones I've done in the past that might pique your interest, But this one, check Untappd first, 5.6 ABV, 22 IBU. Not a lot of check-ins, 546 total, 494 unique. Definitely an above average global ranking of 3.57. Our Festbier is artfully brewed in collaboration with a renowned master brewer. A traditional Oktoberfest style lager, our Festbier is a deep golden color with a beautifully balanced malt-forward profile amidst a delicate addition of German noble hops to create a clean lager finish. Our Festbier is brewed with generous quantities of German Munich and Vienna malts. And for some reason, all the recent people that took pictures of it on Untappd, they don't want to take a picture of a glass. I guess they're all Drew from Beer for Breakfast, Facts for Snacks, and they only wanted like to drink things out of the can. I don't know. Sorry, Drew. No, I love you. Hand forged. Our Festbier is artfully brewed in. Oh, that's the exact same thing I just read on Untappd. Oktoberfest style lager. Not much else in the can. Let's not wasting more time then and just crack this open and cap off Oktoberfest in February week. Last one. All right, now this. Ooh, look at that upside down snowfall. Yeah, baby. Look at that. Look at those bubbles going up the glass. Holy cow. And that's a solid 2-finger head with a nice frothy top on it. That's real good. Now see, this color, this is the type of color I expect from Festbier. You know, if you remember on Wednesday, the Headwing one was still fairly light, but it kind of had a little bit of a darker hue to it than this. This one's very, very light. Yeah, look at that. That's super, super light. When they draw the line in the sand between Marzen and Festbier, this is the color I expect from Festbier. Super light, super clear. Can almost read the internet through it. Aroma-wise, it's probably gonna be pretty light, so let me hold the bottom. It's a grassy note. It's a grassy lemony note, which is weird to come through on a Festbier. Yeah, it's like really grassy and lemony. There's not a lot of maltiness coming through on the nose. It's definitely there, but it's kind of just getting hidden by those other notes. Well, I've had this before. I can't remember if I've ever had it in glass though. Maybe I just drank them out of the can. In any event, let's not waste any more time and see how it is. Better out of the glass. Sorry, Drew. Let's talk about it. All right. Now, as I said before, and I teased Beer for Breakfast, Facts for Snacks a little bit, I have actually had this out of the can multiple times. I'm not sure if this is the first or second time I've had it in the glass. And this tastes way, way, way better out of the glass. I'm not saying that's always the case. Don't come at me. Don't come at me, Drew. Nothing that's always the case. But this one in particular tastes way, way, way better in the glass. In the can, if memory serves correctly, it definitely carries that metallic flavor. It has a little more funkiness. All that gets released. And maybe it's just the fact that now I know you're supposed to drink it super fresh. And a lager, now granted lager sit in the tank for months, but you know, they come out, you're supposed to drink those. You know, those are still something you're kind of got. You don't have as limited a window as IPAs, but you still got kind of a limited window. They're not a dark beer by any stretch of the imagination, even though some of them are kind of dark. This one's kept. This one's definitely kept, and there's a lot that got released that I'm tasting now doing this video than I had in the past just drinking on the side. And it's super, super local. Cayce is that way. That way down the road, maybe like, you know, it's less than a half an hour drive. It's right on the edge of Columbia for me. So it's super, super close. I mean, the flavor it's got the breadiness. It's got a little bit of a cookie note. Again, just much like the aroma, the maltiness is buried a little bit. You're getting a lot of bread, a lot of cookie, but it's not, there's no skunkiness, it's not sour, none of that. It's not grassy. It's just a solid all-around Festbier, and it's full. It's not so light. Like, you could crush this, but you probably wouldn't. You could crush this, but you probably not necessarily would want to, because it does have a little bit of. There's a little bit of meat to it. There's definitely a little bit of meat. If Martin's Festbier's Oktoberfest is your thing, we're going down to the comments. First one pinned has a link to a playlist of all the other ones we've done in the past. Work through those at your leisure. If you like yourself or me, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so exactly when the reviews drop. And if you want to recommend a beer to me, send me a beer or just chit chat me up, email me, nutmeg2palmetto@gmail.com. As for this, I think that wraps up Oktoberfest in February. Prost, friends. I'll see you next time.